almost here. It's almost here. I can't wait for The Walking Dead Season 6. Now, these are my thoughts and my expectations for the next season. I want to hear your guys' thoughts, of course. I want to hear everything you guys have to say about this upcoming season of The Walking Dead. Now, listen. I'm going to put money down. Because Morgan is back. That is so key. Oh, spoilers, by the way. So, you've been warned. Morgan is back. Rick is batshit crazy still. I think he'll settle a little bit towards the season, of course. And a lot of things that they're sticking with the comics. They're sticking with some storyline from the comics. So if I'm right, this is going to be really, really good. I'm putting money down that season 6 will be the best season of all the seasons. It has so much hype going for it. Not only hype. A lot of the other seasons had hype because of the governor. Yeah, I didn't buy that bullshit. Because a lot of casting, this is the best season ever, this and that. But you know what? When I saw those episodes, they're not consistent. Those episodes are not consistent. It's either good or bad or good, middle, bad, good. It never is consistent. I think this could be consistent just because of what we left off last season. Just because the community is now seeing the Rick dictatorship, seeing how this group survives, and these two ways that they've done so differently. You know, the community hasn't been like Rick's group. Now they're gonna clash. They know Rick is dangerous. And that's a dangerous idea to have. A lot of conflict. There is no law. There's only death. There's only executioner. That itself is very, very intriguing, especially with all the characters that we have and all the character interactions that we're going to have and that could possibly have that we never would have thought. There's a lot of characters that don't really interact with each other if you think about it. A lot of the cast don't. I mean, I would love to see more interaction with Glenn and Rick. That's what I said last season. We did get that a little bit last season. And I would like that to continue because Glenn and Rick are the nucleus. They are that of season 1. When season 1 popped around, and I think that's why everybody fell in love with Glenn as well. Because of season 1. Because of the relationship with Glenn and Rick. And how strong that brotherhood is right there. He's a trusted ally. He's a trusted friend. So I would love to see more interaction with that. And of course, a lot of people, after that famous line, "You're my brother, Carl." I mean, no. Yeah, when he told Daryl, "You're my brother," that goes a long way. Because you saw, Daryl is not even from the comics. So just for Rick to establish that relationship and us loving Norman Reedus for what he does for Daryl, I would still like to see Daryl go back a little bit to his old ways. He seems a little bit too... I mean, it's reasonable that he would be quiet sometimes, or he wouldn't be that much of a smartass as he usually is, or he just changed along the way. But I feel like the change has made him more... Definitely more distant. And it is reasonable. It is very reasonable. But I would love for Daryl and Rick to have more interaction. And we're going to get a couple episodes where it's just Daryl. So that's going to be amazing because Daryl does get kidnapped, and that's a trailer that we saw. Now, I haven't seen any behind-the-scenes stuff. I don't do that. I just want to go into the season thinking, okay, what are they going to do? What are they going to change? And the one thing that is a good change is the Wolves. The Wolves, man, in the comics, they're not the Wolves who are inspired by this one group that Rick meets at the gate. They're hardly even there. They're hardly ever in the comics. The Wolves definitely got I remember somebody telling me is a remix of that group from the comics, and now is of this. I can't wait to see what they do. The traps that they set, I mean, that's beautifully done. And you know what's interesting though is that they have all these traps, and they have, they're able to, especially when Daryl and what's his name? I forgot his name. Daryl and damn it, what's his name? I can't. I always forget his name. Well, anyway, so yeah, I'm just gonna say this: the Wolves are basically they set up traps, and who sets up traps that we saw not too long ago? Maybe was it the fourth season or the fifth season? I think it was the fourth. Too Far is it Too Far Gone? I think it was called Too Far Gone. Morgan knows how to set traps, and the Wolves set traps. And then you also have Daryl, who knows everything, pretty much everything. Though you have those two guys, and that's going to be very interesting if they do something with that, especially with Morgan, him able to, seeing something different than what Rick has been encountering, maybe seeing the same thing Rick hasn't encountered. So the Wolves, I'm looking forward to. We saw the Cannibals last season. I thought the Cannibals were great. I thought a lot of people think they were killed off too early. Maybe I could see why they would say that, because it kind of felt like, then where the hell do we go from here? Now we got to go to the next thing. I felt like it was okay. It was fine where they kind of left it off. And that action sequence in the first episode blew my mind. But the Wolves look like they're definitely a super real threat. Now, right now in the comics, we have the Whispers, and I think they are the biggest threat I've seen in the Walking Dead comics. I think Negan was a threat. I think the Governor was a threat. Like I said, spoilers, comic and TV. I won't spoil it too much. But the Wolves, man, the Wolves could be the biggest threat we've seen on TV, and I think we need that. We haven't had a big threat since the walkers from the first seasons. Since I don't consider the Governor really a threat, honestly. I thought the Governor was kind of a weenie. I'm sorry, in the TV series, he's kind of a weenie. Shane's not even relevant. That was the first couple seasons. I haven't really seen really too much of a big threat. The Cannibals were definitely, I think they were the biggest threat, honestly. It was very, you kind of didn't know what the fuck they were going to do, but it was kind of, I would have to say that, it's going to be, it has to be the Wolves. I think the Wolves are definitely going to step it up, and I think they're going to just be awesome. So I think I have a lot riding on the Wolves, because I think they're going to make the season 6 very special. Now, we haven't really seen them in the trailer. I think we don't know if they are the ones that captured Daryl or not, but it's going to be. I'm feeling they're hiding footage or hiding this from us, because something along the way. I mean, they're gonna do some real damage. I would have to relook at the trailers and stuff, and the previews and all that. I've seen a couple previews, but like I said, I want to go fresh into the season. I don't want to see too much, even though I read the comic, and I think they're gonna go follow along the lines of the comic. Now, there's one particular scene that deals with walkers. I want to see it. I want it to be marvelous. Last weekend's episode was reminiscent of it. Maybe it's like, foreshadowing or like a little nod, like, this is nothing. And there was a lot of walkers in the last episode of Fear the Walking Dead. I'm hoping this season has that as well. There's also a particular storyline with Carl. I don't know if that's going to be a tricky one. That's also going to be the same thing with Rick and having to do with his hands in the comic book. So it's definitely going to be a tricky one to accomplish. I feel like they don't necessarily need it. They could change it up. They could remix it. They could do something a little bit different. But it definitely would be interesting if they do go that route, and I would embrace it by all means necessary. But if they don't, I could see them changing that particular moment with Carl that happens. And I believe Carl is definitely gonna, let's hope Carl gets a little bit more to do. I mean, a lot of people, you should know that Carl is a little badass in the comics. Right now, he's not. This is the same with the comics. He wasn't just barely coming out of his own. So I think this is the season of the Carl to really blossom. Also, we'll love to see a lot more Michonne. I want to see definitely what Michonne has to do too. She's the level head out of everybody in the group. She knows what's going on. I mean, she knocked Rick's ass out, to calm him down. We also have Maggie. What's going to be that whole situation? Especially, I think Maggie will be playing a little bit of both sides, understanding what both sides are dealing with. And then you also have Carol. Carol is the wild card. Carol is always the wild card, and it's a great wild card to have. The question is, will she die? Will she die? And will she become a villainess? Will she become kind of so cold-hearted? It's been hinted that she's really cold-hearted. But then again, she did, with that little kid, she had formed a little relationship there, which kind of brought her back a little bit to the old Carol, but not too much. She's so cold-hearted. Will she just succumb to that cold-heartedness, to that darkness inside her, and will it destroy her? I don't know. It would be really interesting if they do. And then you also have Abraham, and then you have Eugene, Rosetta. What's their whole deal? There is something they do in the comics that has, so maybe, I think I had a video with dealing with Abraham, Eugene. You can check that out. They do have a little, I don't know if they'll go that way. We'll see. They should go that way, honestly. But if they do, if they're sticking with the comics, they'll have a little they'll have something going on there. But really, this season looks like they're sticking a little bit to the comics, yet they're not. There's a lot of things, when I saw that trailer, there's a lot of things that could definitely change, especially with Daryl. Maybe that's why Daryl gets captured, the focus on some of the storyline of the comics. But of course, Morgan is here. He changes the whole thing. When Morgan is here, he changes the whole game. He changes the whole storyline. This is what I'm most excited for, is Morgan. Morgan's appearance last season, I went nuts. I went bananas, man. I was like, Morgan! Yes! Finally! Morgan is the key to this whole thing. Because we know Morgan and Rick's relationship, because we know Morgan has survived on his own, because we know Morgan and his heartache, because Morgan is a kung fu master, something interesting is going to occur in season 6. And season 6 is to the next level. Season 5, season 6 could go to the next level with just Morgan alone, this character. I am excited for Morgan to be here. Morgan is in season 6. That's why I'll put my money down happily and say season 6 is going to be the best season out of all the seasons. It just looks more intense, more horrific, more stories that could be accomplished where the writers would have fun with it. So I'm absolutely excited for season 6. I'm absolutely pumped up. I'm absolutely ready for some more Walking Dead. And you should too, because I'm going to have some reviews coming up. So please subscribe and please like the video, well, if you like it. And comment below. Love to hear your guys' thoughts. Of course, this was just a video I just wanted to do real quick. Not real quick. I was like, you know what? Let's talk about that season 6 real quick. Because I'm pumped. It's Tuesday. It's a Tuesday. But I am pumped. I am ready. Fear the Walking Dead. Nice little appetizer. Okay, a little tortilla soup. Give me some of that steak, though. Give me some of that steak. No. We've had steak before. Give me some ribeye. Bye, guys.